All right.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our first ever second act class online. This is pretty exciting for us. I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to talking to a camera more than anybody else. But we have here Kayla Lazorchak and Millie Kaiser, familiar faces. And no, we haven't seen you all in a really long time, and certainly want to know that we miss you so much. But we thought we would just start off sharing what's been going on, just so y'all have an idea of what we've kind of been through and where we're going with all this. Second Act is still here, and we're still here for you. Just when COVID hit for us, it was around March 15th. And when that day happened, I wish you could have seen all of the people working here at SIH trying to reshuffle and repurpose and figure out what we're going to do with some of the stipulations that were on us. And it was really, really quite amazing to see all those people at work behind the scenes doing everything we can to make people safe during COVID. So during that time, they said we couldn't have our classes anymore, and so unfortunately we had to cancel our classes, and I went into communications mode. So I had 20 years experience working in the marketing and communications department, so I was somewhat repurposed back into doing communications. But it's been quite a ride. We're still working our way through it. Just to give you an idea of kind of where we've been, I do have some statistics from SIH about COVID. We have had in our hospitals, we have done around 44,000 tests. And of those tests, we've had 2,696 that are positive cases of COVID. So that's about a 6% positivity rate just for SIH patients alone. In Region 5, which is some of the southern counties that we are a part of in the emergency management system, we have had 8,347 positives. And unfortunately 195 deaths in our region. So probably what we would still want to recommend for sure is those things we've learned and that everybody's talking about, which is wear your mask, make sure you're 6 feet separated from folks, and if you're touching anything that's out of the ordinary for you, make sure that you're using the hand sanitizer. That's the best we can do to mitigate that. Just recently, I'm learning in the state of Illinois, one of their thresholds is this level of 8% of increases. And so here in the last month or so, we've had some increases in cases, and we have hit the 8% threshold. And if we're at this 8% for 3 days, then the state starts restricting some of the things that we can do. So now more than ever, important to mask up, again with the hand sanitizer, and just be very aware in social situations how far away you are from folks. So very important. We want to hear that all of you are safe. So that's our number one priority. But also just thought we would share for fun. Since we're used to seeing you and we kind of know a little bit about your lives and you know a little bit about our lives, we thought maybe we would just share some of the things that we've been through in the last few months here. So I'll start it off. I'm going to share my screen. That's a thing you'll hear. Allegedly, I'll share my screen. Oh, there we go. I titled it, I Will Survive, because that's just true for everybody. So, come on, baby. Switch slides. Doesn't it figure? There we go. It just takes it a little delay. So, when COVID hit, I thought I was going to make the best of the situation. We're supposed to stay at home, not go out. My husband and I had bought kayaks, and so as you can see, we're out on Crab Orchard. I started exercising. I was doing good. I was starting to run, and we started biking, and we went down to the Tunnel Hill, which is very, very beautiful. As you can see, they've got the tunnel, they've got trestles. It was an old train trestle down in Tunnel Hill, Illinois. So we were doing pretty good. My husband and I, that's my husband, Sean, and we celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary at a familiar place that the trippers will know about, and we went back to Hermann, Missouri. So during the times of there being riots in some cities, and a time of COVID where we need to distance, we thought we'll just go to a small familiar town, and we enjoyed a little wine, and we hit the worst house again, of course, had to go there, and just had a beautiful weekend. So 25 years for us. And my husband turned 60 this year. He was a little bummed he didn't get to go to New Orleans for that. So Herman it was. Also, it was going good. Look at this fortune cookie, will you? I got a fortune cookie that said someone was secretly in love with me. I have no idea who, but wasn't that intriguing? That was the best fortune cookie I've ever had, I think. So yeah. What we were dealing with at home was this little guy. This is who we call Geraldo. I don't know if you can see him. He's sitting there on my picnic table next to this shed of mine. Sean named him Geraldo, I think just because he's furry like that fuzzy mustache that Geraldo Rivera has. But Sean called me one day and was thankful. He said, guess what? Geraldo got hit by a car. And I was so glad. That sounds not very environmental, I guess, but I was glad because he wasn't under my shed anymore and I wasn't going to have to figure out how to get rid of him. And the day I professed my happiness that Geraldo was gone, I came home and hung up my purse to this and looked outside. Do you see that? There's two heads under there. So apparently Geraldo had some offspring and they're both hanging out under my shed. Oh, so what we were going to do, I wasn't really sure. That shed was a project of mine, to say the least. But I was afraid what happened next would shape up to be a cruel, cruel summer. Everything that happened to me revolves around my shed. I've got the gophers that live under there. And then on a day when I'm going to come home and weed eat, I stepped out of my shed, rolled my ankle, and broke my foot and sprained it, as you can tell. Isn't it cute? And so then I got the boot. That rhymes, but I didn't really intend for that to happen, but it did. So there I was in a boot for 4 weeks, no weight bearing. I tell you, I had to work from home a little bit, and I tried some different kinds of masks, ones that made me like I was horsing around a little bit, apparently. I even got to ride one of those scooters into Walmart. I felt kind of like I could run people over, but, that probably wouldn't be wise. But, yeah, beware. Look out for me on one of those suckers. So that's what I was dealing with. But the good news is everything does heal. Time does heal wounds. So there's on the left where my fracture was, right on top of the foot. And that's an improvement from what it was. I graduated to a ankle brace that I still use when I'm doing some athletic things or if I'm hiking or something like that. And I certainly got back into my R2-D2 socks because you all remember I'm a big Star Wars geek. We did get to have a little fun later in August when some friends of mine, we went down to Eminence, Missouri. And this is Alley Springs in Eminence, Missouri. And this is one of the bigger springs. Isn't it just beautiful? The water is that aqua blue, just gorgeous. It is ice cold, let me tell you. So if you want to jump in for a quick thrill, yeah, you're going to be getting out pretty fast. So, but it was just gorgeous down there on the rivers. And I got to go to Gulf Shores. I know, a little tear for the fact that we didn't get to go to Gulf Shores as a group. But while I was there, I thought I would get a picture of the hotel that we were to stay in. I have rescheduled this trip for next year, next October, and so this will be the place. And so I thought you all might like to see where that is. So back to the shed for me, though, was you could see over on the left-hand side, that shed has been rotting for the last 10 years. And you know how it is. You put off projects. And so we finally decided that, okay, it's time to fix the doggone thing. So there I am out there helping my hubby. And guess what? I can put up siding pretty darn good, I think. So, but so that was kind of my life this year. And yeah, it went through some ups and downs, but eventually I will survive. So now I'm going to turn it on over back to Kayla. I think she's next to give us a scoop of what she's been up to.
All right. Thanks, Tracy. That was great. I love your story and the craziness that occurred. So I'm going to share my screen. And I don't have any fancy title. Mine's just what I've been up to by me. And so when this all happened, I got to take some time off, which was kind of and just enjoyed the little things in life. And we were actually planning on going on an Alaskan cruise, and that kind of did not get to happen. So instead, we decided to do outdoor activities like Tracy and stay away from people, but we had a great summer. So my first slide is about hiking and fishing. My husband has decided that he is a professional fisherman. Not really, but he fishes every day now, and it's not for bass, it's for crappie. And also, my dachshunds go with us, and they think that it is just a blast. They now have life jackets. I don't have pictures of their life jackets, but they do have life jackets now because the little black one likes to go swimming. And so there we are fishing, and then we went to a little town called Frankfort, Kentucky, and that is where you'll see us hiking. And that was a really fun little trip we went on, and there was a natural bridge there, and so that's me under it. And then there's a picture of me and my sister and her husband also hiking. We went up the sky lift. We did not walk up the hill. Maybe a little lazy on our part, but it was worth it. We got to enjoy the top of the hill much more so. And then we also picked up kayaking as well as biking. We bought bikes, and if any of you guys went to try to buy a bike from a store, you'll find that it was very hard to find any bikes. I wanted a Huffy, like one-speed bike, which of course they didn't have, so I ended up getting a Schwinn, which was really nice. And my little dachshund likes to go with me as well. So that's little Ruby in the front there. And our furthest bike ride we've been on so far is 8 miles. And yeah, it was pretty tough. The hills will get me every time. And then we also went kayaking in a cave, which was super cool. It was pitch black in there, which is why you'll see that we have little lights on our heads. And so that was super fun to do. And then also brought back my childhood, and we went tubing while boating. And that was a hoot. We went tubing with a bass boat the first day, and he would just throw us in the first like 5 minutes, so we didn't get a lot of tubing. So we had to switch to a pontoon boat, and then he couldn't throw us. So that was pretty fun. And what happened next?
Was that a picture of you in the middle? That last one on the bike?
Yeah, that's me and Ruby.
Oh, I'm not used to seeing you in glasses.
Yeah. I know. I do wear glasses. Fun fact for everyone out there, I do wear glasses. Just not usually. I had lost them and didn't buy a pair for a year, so I got glasses back. And some of you might know, but I live on a farm. So this is farm living. My farm consists of pigs, cows, mostly horses, dogs. But we also found a cow while we were hiking in Indiana, which is the little longhorn cow, and you could feed her grass, and she was super sweet. We wanted to take her home, but we figured she wouldn't fit in our RV, so we had to leave her. But she was super sweet. And then we have Babe, which is my little palomino. That's the one in the center. And then on the next picture is my husband. I actually got him to ride this year, so that was nice of him to get on. Notice he's in his fishing shirt and shorts because he was fishing prior to this. And then, of course, we have to have pictures of little Franny, and she's doing wonderful. She absolutely loves when we have parties on the back patio, and she loves corn on the cob. As you can see next to her, there's a corn on the cob. She'll eat the whole thing, and she thinks that is just glorious. She hasn't learned any new tricks, but she does run a lot harder now than she did before. So she I call it galloping. She gallops through the field instead of trotting. It's really funny. I had a video. I'll have to get one because it's pretty humorous. And then here are my babies. So I've got Caroline, who's in the center, sleeping upside down. And then there's little red Ruby. She's got her toy sitting there. And then my newest addition, while I was on break, my husband tried to kill me, but I bought another puppy named Chewy, and short for Chewbacca. I told my husband I was going to buy another dog. He said, "You are not." I said, "Yes, I am." And me and my dad took a weekend trip to Texas and picked up little Chewy. And I let my husband name him because I bought him. So we named him Chewbacca because my husband is a big Star Wars fan. So those are my three little babies. So if anybody paid attention to the dachshund race earlier this year, next year we'll be adding another racer, and that'll be little Chewy. I don't know how fast he is, but we'll see. He likes to chew on things. He was named appropriately because he chews on everything. And of course, I added the dachshund race because how could I not? So here is right at the beginning of COVID dachshund race. And I'll play it for you guys because I just think it's so fun. Because they're so cute. Oh, where'd it go? Hang on. Oh, here we go. Here they go. And technically, Caroline is my fastest. Ruby won this race, but Caroline is definitely my fastest dachshund. She slowed up at the finish line, so shame on her. But we did have a re-race. And so, yeah, that is kind of what I've been up to. And then I got to come back to work about August. And I was nervous to come back. I've missed you guys, and I still miss you guys. And I can't wait to see you all in person soon. But I've definitely missed everybody. And if you guys ever need us, you can always talk to me on the phone at 877. I'm not going to say the rest of it because I say it all the time. But if you guys need us, give us a call. But that's what I've been up to, having a lot of fun. Doing a lot of outdoor things and avoiding people. And my husband is a fisherman now, so we have lots of fish. So we might need to have a fish fry when we can have big gatherings again, because we have had to buy a mini deep freeze for his fish.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I've heard it's hard to find deep freezes too. My sister's
I'm sure it
freezer
has.
went out and she had to go buy a new one. They didn't have any because people are,
Yeah.
bringing the food
Yeah.
in and storing it. So
Yeah.
And another
weird
thing,
times we're in.
yeah. And another
we knew
thing,
about-
I didn't
Go
I
ahead,
didn't
Miss.
think about printers. I bought a printer for home just
Yes.
week ago, and because of school being more at home, printers are hard to find. So
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
yeah,
Yeah. So we've yeah.
unless you want to buy the
We
$300
love
or
a hungry-
$400.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to pass it over to Millie, and let's find out what Millie's been doing.
Well, I will say Kayla always brings laughter to our office because we get to hear about her pig Franny and her babies, and it's always fun to hear, isn't it, Tracy?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, after hearing Tracy and Kayla's presentation, I think I'm going to hang out with them. They're getting a lot of physical activity, and I've been more at home. But I will say this summer I've been working out of home. Probably went home to work as needed by phone appointments. Probably started in March, late mid to March, and came back here in September. And so, so when this happened in March, this is when it first hit me that we were in a crisis. Okay, can you see that? What? No toilet paper? So that weekend in March, after we knew things were really happening, I was going to go see my dad in Indiana that weekend. And I thought I usually pick up household things for him, what he might need before I head over to Indiana. And so when I saw this aisle of toilet paper or no toilet paper, I thought, well, I thought this was a virus. I didn't get why all the toilet paper is gone. But anyhow, it started hitting me that things were kind of serious. So over the summer, our family really got to know how to use Zoom. And that was not a term we used other than back in our childhood with the little car, Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. And now we're realizing it's a good way to communicate. And my family lives all over the place. And so this year we had several celebrations. I have a nephew and his wife in Brooklyn, New York, and this is Leo, and he turned 1 this year. And so we had the Zoom party where we feel like we're the Brady Bunch, where you see all the little pictures of us, of family throughout the country getting together. And so he's going to be our little cleaner. He's already sweeping the floors and mopping and everything at age 1. I think he watches his mom and mimics her quite a bit. And then we had a second-year birthday. Thank goodness for the first-year birthday of Colton. We were in Louisville, Kentucky to celebrate. Well, we had another Zoom party this summer to celebrate.
Would that make them cousins?
And then, and this is my niece in Louisville, Kentucky, and this is her first child. So we had many years of not another generation coming up. A lot of my nephews and niece didn't get married until their 30s. And then all of a sudden, we have a whole team of little boys now. So this is Colton in Louisville, Kentucky. And then we were planning on a big celebration for my dad. My dad turned 90, and we were going to rent a place and have a big celebration. Well, he lives out in the country. And some of you have probably toured French Lick in Jasper, Indiana. He lives around Patoka Lake, but that's in between. And out in the country, out in the boonies, I would call it. But anyhow, we knew we couldn't have a parade of cars going by and honking because it'd probably take everybody half an hour longer to get there. So my sister came up with the idea, for those who really didn't want to send a card, we would do a video. And so she put it all together with music and everything. And he was really touched by it, of all the good wishes that he got. So he has turned 90 this year. And poor guy, we're on the phone quite a bit talking right now because his computer crashed. He's still on the computer and does all this computer work. And he had to give up his flip phone because he got a letter that says these flip phones are not going to be working as well, or if not at all. So now he has a new iPhone and a new computer, and so we're constantly on the phone. And as Kayla Tracy know, I'm not the best source to go to, but I'm helping him.
At 90 years old, well done.
Yeah,
well done, Mr. Kaiser.
Yeah, so he's staying with it there. And then I have another nephew, and they live in London, England, and this is Ellis. He turned 1 this summer as well. And so he's going to be our guy like Kayla and Tracy, going to be out there on all kinds of outdoor adventures and everything. So, and then I kind of stayed put around home. And so I have probably cooked more at home than I have in my entire life. And I'm even experimenting. Can you believe it? This is a cheese sauce without any form of cheese in it. It's just got vegetables in it. And so experimenting. Have I made it again? No, but I'm experimenting with my cooking. So it was okay. If you want to review, okay, not fabulous. And then I enjoy flower gardening. So did a lot of flower gardening this summer. And I have read a lot of books this summer. I do enjoy reading books. And I have a friend that the two of us kind of get together to do different reviews of books and things that enjoy doing. So that was kind of my summer where I had a little bit extra time to kind of do these things and did a little household cleaning, like windows, things I don't like to do as well. So anyhow, so that was it. Okay. Now, Kayla, you may have to help me because now I don't see the, Did that do it? No, I'm back. All right, Kayla, let's see. Can you help me? I got a quick,
as you can tell.
Okay, got it. Sorry. Okay, as you can see, I'm kind of new at this. I'm the new kid. I'm the new kid on the block.
There you go.
WebEx. So,
Yes,
okay, Tracy, I'll give it back to you.
Okay, just as you can see, learning how to do this online is not a small feat. It's a little confusing. It's something new. I feel like the Jetsons, that used to be such a cool idea to be able to see who you're talking to. Well, we are here now. So we're going to do what we can this is our first effort at doing it. If you're looking at your screen at all, and you should be on one of our web pages, and below it should be an opportunity for you to ask questions. I forgot to mention that to you. So you'll have to crank it in, get out your typewriter skills and type us questions, and it'll come right into our email, and we can answer them. One day we might figure out where we can all be on screen together. But of course, if we had one of our big 80-member classes and had 8 of you on here, we'd be like, our eyes would be darting all over. So yeah, I don't know how well that would work. So little by little, my friends, we'll figure it out. So, but like I said, you are the first ones to sign in. Kayla, do you want to tell us any more about what we've learned regarding virtual classes?
Yeah, so when I got to come back to work, obviously we all know that Stacia left us prior to all of this happening. So I came back and Tracy goes, Kayla, we're going to go virtual. And I went, Tracy, are you sure? And so thinking of my grandma and, could they do it? And so we had faith in you guys and knew that we're just going to have to rip this Band-Aid off and carry on. And obviously, this is not how they're always going to be. We may keep this platform for some classes, but we're hoping to get in person again in 2021, keeping our fingers crossed. But yeah, so we're kind of just doing about 3 every month. Could be a little more if I can get some, but we're hoping they go smoothly any feedback you guys want to give us, you guys will get a survey at the end of this today. So if you have feedback about what went well or what didn't, we're always up for that, because we really do want it to be an easy process and everybody to be able to learn. And it's good to be back and doing classes and getting a newsletter out that has classes in it. So actually our November newsletter will be back to all the pages. So that was super exciting. I can't wait to get that out. But that's kind of where we're at with the classes. And, always, if anybody has problems, just give me a call. We'll try to work through how to get on and find the best way to do it. But we are definitely happy to be back and doing some kind of classes, whether that be virtual or whatever. But yeah, that's all I really have for the virtual classes, but definitely fill out the survey. So
yeah, we will. The more interactivity we get, or get spooled up using the online classes, the more we will get to a point too where we can hire back our fourth person, who would be the educator person for SIH and for Second Act. I actually quickly want to share my screen just for a second, if I may, because a lot of you may wonder about what Stacia's been up to. And they just had adoption day. This is not the screen I want. Hang on a second. I want this screen. Here we go. This is baby Hannah Grace, and her birthday would have been maybe around September 15th, something like that, I think.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
So yeah, she turned a year old already, if you can believe that. And they just celebrated her adoption day, so it is official. And isn't she just adorable? Somebody said she even looks like Stacia, and I kind of think so, even though they're not related. So how about that?
Yeah, that's so exciting.
I know. So we'll get in the middle of COVID, but when March 15th hit, I was halfway through interviewing a new person for that health educator position, and then everything went kerflooey. So yeah, we got to get spooled up enough so that we can hire that person back. So, and we hope you found the registering for classes easy, doing it online. Our website uses a third-party provider to actually record and register people. So if you get these emails from Eventbrite, just know that it's from us. So, but we're also coming upon October 15th, and that's Millie's big day. What's going down, Millie?
Well, Kayla's on the front line because she takes the calls when you call that 800 number to make an appointment. We're seeing people by phone or by WebEx if you want to do it that approach. And so so we're taking those appointments now. We're into November. So if you would like for us to take a review of your Part D plan, feel free to give us a call at the Second Act number, and Kayla will mark you on the calendar then. I do want to just say that Medicare covers the lab test for COVID-19. If you are having a procedure or for whatever reason, and you pay no out-of-pocket costs for that. So just want you to be aware of that. And also I want to share with you a little bit. We've probably been getting a lot of calls about Medicare Advantage because I'm sure you've seen it advertised on TV where they offer transportation and food and dental and hearing and whatnot. And it sounds too good to be true. Probably, and the people I've dealt with over the last 8 years, I see most people probably with a Medicare supplement. We do have Medicare Advantage, but in our area, we don't have a lot of plans. I have seen maybe a couple more in our area now. But I would say those plans operate like an HMO and a PPO. They may be a little cheaper in premium, but their copays, there's many copays for everything. And so if you ever would want to check those plans out, I think it's important to, first of all, make sure, because they operate like an HMO or PPO, Make sure your provider and hospitals are in their network, and also read the fine print. I knew somebody that had a plan that had dental, vision, and hearing. And, you think, well, that's great. Well, when you read the fine print, they had $200 for the year, and however they used it, once they used it, it was gone. So you might get one cleaning and maybe an x-ray, but they're not as, not as much coverage as sometimes you think. So if you're looking at those Medicare Advantage plans, just be sure to check with the company and get more details about them. So that's what's going on here, taking appointments, and Kayla's ready for those calls, right, Kayla? Yes.
I love hearing from you guys, even if it's just for Medicare appointment. I love it all.
Yeah.
Call me.
We do miss seeing the people, that's for sure. There's nothing better than seeing you all in person versus doing the phone, but the phone's the next best thing, or WebEx. Right.
That's absolutely right. And, with Medicare, as we kind of analyzed it, we found that we can make it happen over the phone, and we can do it via WebEx. WebEx is the service we're using today to kind of help us be in this meeting together. So if you hear WebEx, it's the same thing as a Zoom. It might be the same thing as a Microsoft Teams. Those are just some different apparatuses. You probably noticed in our newsletters, I was sending you a lot of tech information on those first issues because I was trying to spool up your knowledge and your glossary of terms that you might be hearing. So again, and Kayla's right, if you got any questions, of course, give us a phone call. We'd be happy to help you through any of that kind of thing. Something new that is happening at SIH, and I hope that helps with some of the technology-based services, along with it just happened that the food court here at University Mall, as we know it, SIH purchased that and has renovated that. And so last week, they have moved outpatient rehabilitation over into that space. So that was the rehab that was at the lower level of the professional office building at Memorial. And so now that's over here at University Mall. So it's right next door to the door that you guys came in to do some classes. There's also a third door there that they renovated, a new classroom. And I said, we need a classroom and we want a cooking kitchen. We want to be able to do a training kitchen. So they have built that. And so I'm so excited the day we do get to be together. We can maybe do cooking demos or fun things like that. And it's a multi-purpose community room. And so they're going to house some yoga in there. So I'm talking to the folks with rehab to see if there's something we can do, because I know I've often been asked about Second Act having Tai Chi or a yoga class or something. Well, this might give us the avenue to do that when, in fact, we can all get together. So that is very, very exciting for us. As far as getting together, your health and safety is most important to us. And so just like COVID's been kind of a learn as we go, we have been asked to not do face-to-face meetings if we can help it. At the time, it was 6 months, so that takes us through the end of December. So for those of you asking about when we're going to meet again, I will probably have to put a proposal together to our incident command. That's what we call it. When there's a natural disaster like FEMA comes in, they set up an incident command system. It's something police officers use, anybody in the emergency field. So we are set up like that here at SIH. And so that's the team that we ask, send proposals of how we could do it in a safe manner. And so that's probably what I will be doing come December. And maybe by then we'll have a vaccine. Hard to say, though. So we just kind of live day by day, just like everyone else. And when we can have in-person classes, believe me, you will be second to know. We'll know first, and then we'll get it out to you. So I was, with Millie's Medicare, it doesn't require a signature. You don't have to be present to do it. When we were doing the power of attorney sessions, those do require a signature and usually a witness signature. So as a matter of fact, today I just got an email from Becky O'Neill. She is the lawyer that we were working with through SIU. She would be willing to do some in-person consults if we get it set up safe. So we'll have to work on some, maybe some plexiglass, some parameters. You'll be required to wear a mask because if you're coming in any place at SIH, you'll have to wear a mask and get a small screening when you come in. But it's very likely we'll be able to do the power of attorneys again, which is really terrific. So, STAR groups, with the seniors being most at risk, we aren't really condoning or recommending that you do STAR groups, although I cannot stop you from getting together with who you want to get together with. For some of you, think outside the box. When I think of creative writing group, at one point in time I talked to David McKay, because it's possible for them to do creative writing in a setting like this, where you have something like WebEx or Zoom, and so you can see everybody and you can still have that get-together time with each other. You would just be doing it remotely. So think creatively, and if you're wanting to know how to do that and you're curious about how, you can give us a call and we can help you through some of that technology. We've been training and practicing and doing those kinds of things ourselves, so we can maybe give you some tips related to that. Ooh, that reminds me of the other thing I forgot to mention that's in this new construction that we had over here at the mall. Alongside rehab, they're going to open what is called a tech bar. I think they're calling it SIH Connect or something like that. But what that is a place for you to come and learn how to use some of these technological tools. That's the era we're in. I don't see it going away. So they can help you with things like MyChart, any of this telehealth things that we're doing, or even help with stuff like this where we're doing these classes remotely and using some type of software to help us connect and use audiovisual. So that's another one. But these are unprecedented times. I hate that we can't get together as often as we want to, but we are healthcare, and we would never feel good if we were putting you in harm's way or being risky. It's not worth it to us to put you at risk in any way. So you're very, very important to us. In the meantime, SIH has been ramping back up. There was a big portion of time there where we weren't doing elective surgeries and things like that. Certainly, if you have chest pain or any of those like emergency symptoms, by golly, we do want you to call 911. Don't stop care when you really, really need it, because they've got mechanisms in place at the hospital to keep everybody as safe as they can, and the COVID unit's kind of separate from some other units. So those folks really worked terribly hard to make it safe so the people who, besides COVID patients that need medical care, can definitely come and get it. So please do that. So anyways, other ways of staying up to date. I mean, Kayla, what else do you got for us to help folks stay up to date on what's going on with us?
Yeah, so some great ways to stay up to date and be in the know are kind of, if you aren't on our Facebook, that is a wonderful way. We post on there what we're up to, what we've been doing. And if you ever want to join that and you're not, either look up the SIH Second Act on Facebook, or give us a call and we will put your email address in and get you added. Email is another great way to stay up to date, we send out emails about classes coming up or Medicare appointments and all those kind of things. So if you just got an email or you didn't give us your email, please feel free to call us, and we would love to add you to our email list. As always, we are still sending out our newsletter every month, and we're excited. November will be a full newsletter, and that's exciting news. We got some fun stuff going on in that time. And then always our website. We've kind of added some things to our website that are always really interesting. So definitely look on there and see if we got any new classes and those kind of things, because that's where you'll be signing up for the classes and events. And that is just at www.sih.net/second act. Don't forget the www. Or it will not take you there. So that's just an important thing to remember. And then you can always give me a call. I love to hear from you. So you can call us at 877-480-4040. And if you have any questions, concerns, ideas, we want to hear them all. So just give us a call, and we will take those as well. So those are kind of our best ways to get a hold of us and stay up to date on Second Act. And that's pretty much it for how to stay up to date. And I'll pass it back to Tracy to kind of wrap us up. And again, make sure to fill out your survey for this class just so we can keep growing. And we hope to see you again at one of our next classes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is all new for us. So through all of this, we certainly ask for your patience as we try new things. We have kind of learned, I don't know that there's a perfect scenario, but you just got to try something and you learn from it, and then we just adjust. And so that's what we'll do here as well. One other thing we're trying, especially if you're a Facebooker, is in lieu of the dining out group, going out and eating,
yes.
Next week on Wednesday, come into Facebook, and we will have a room available
yes.
at noon, Kayla, right?
Yeah, it's at noon. And you'll come into Facebook. You'll get an invite if you're already part of our Facebook group. So it'll invite you to join us. And that one, we can actually see you.
Yep. It'll be a brown bag lunch.
So, yes.
So we'll still get to have lunch together.
That's right.
So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Before I kind of really close up, Millie, was there anything else that you wanted to add?
Just that we miss you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. And hopefully soon is a key word.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's right. Our next class is similar, is the same format. So you'll be coming back. This one is about, kind of coping through this time of COVID, where we can't socialize the way we want to. I think everybody could use some resilience tips in that area. Everybody's kind of going through it together. So we'll have Deb Cotting from the Center for Senior Renewal doing the same kind of format that we have here. And if you got questions, as you see it there on the screen, just below where the video should be a thing that if you have any questions, you just punch in a question to Deb, and she will get it to us. So, or it'll come in electronically, and sorry. We find we're kind of like patting our heads and rubbing our stomachs and doing a little pirouette and dance all at the same time, and so. We even have a marketing producer on the back end you don't see him here on this, but he's helping us. So a big thank you to Therese for helping us live stream this today for you. So again, we miss you all very much. And we can't wait to get back with you sometime and do some trips.
Yes.
Yeah, everything will just have to be a wait and see. So, but everybody stay safe out there and have a wonderful day.
Yes. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.